Hi, kindergarten. Okay, let's do some reviewing. Let's go over the last two letters we have. So we have done all the letters now. That's very exciting. All right, one of the letters we learned this week was the letter Z, and Z makes a z sound like zebra. So we say Z, zebra, z. All right, your turn. Here's that go. Very good. Z, zebra, z. Okay, let's do some writing practice for Z, and then we'll go over the next letter we learned. So either get out your board or a marker, or you can use paper and a pencil. We're going to start with uppercase Z. So uppercase Z and lowercase z, they look the same except for their size. Uppercase Z is bigger, lowercase z is littler. But other than that, they're the same. Okay, so we're going to start with uppercase Z, and uppercase Z starts on the skyline. So put those markers on the skyline, and you're going to go forward, and then slant down to the grass line, and then slide forward again. And that's uppercase Z. Okay, let's try it one more time. We're going to put our markers on the skyline, and you slide forward, and then you're going to slant down to the grass line and then slide forward again. So that's our uppercase Z. Okay, makes a z sound. Let me do one silly uppercase Z and you try to figure out what's wrong with it. All right, here's my uppercase Z that's going to be silly. I'm starting on the skyline and I'm sliding forward. Okay, so far so good. And then I'm going straight down to the grass line, and then I'm sliding forward again. What's wrong with that uppercase Z? Yes, this middle line. Look at that. This middle line is not slanty. It's not diagonal. It's just going straight up and down. But uppercase Z, they need to be a slanted diagonal line in the middle. Look at that. So that's the difference. That's why this one's silly. Okay, let's erase those uppercase Z's and try some lowercase Z's. And lowercase Z looks exactly the same as uppercase Z, except it's littler. Instead of skyline to grass line, this one's plain line to grass line. Okay? All right, so for lowercase Z, we're going to start on the plain line, and we slant forward, or I'm sorry, not slant forward, we just slide forward, and then we slant down to the grass line, and then slide forward again, and that's lowercase z. Okay, let's try it again. We're going to start on the plain line and slide forward, and then we slant down to the grass line, and then slide forward again, and that's lowercase z makes a z sound. All right, I'm going to do a silly lowercase z. You try to figure out what's wrong with it. Okay, well, let's see. Do you see what's wrong with it? It's between the plain line and the grass line. That looks good. This line in the middle is slanted. It's diagonal. That's good. But what direction is it facing? Look at that. Do you see a difference between these two and this one? Yeah, this one's backwards. This one's going the wrong direction. That's why this one's silly. It's backwards. We don't want to do backwards Z's. All right, so here are my good Z's. All right, now let's do the next letter we learned this week. And then I get to put all of our letters up on our wall and we'll be all done. That's exciting. Okay, now let's do our next letter we learned this week. The other letter we learned was the letter Q, and Q makes a qua sound like queen and quiet and quilt and quit. And what else did we do for Q? We did quick. Those are also Q words. Now, Q always has a U after it. Isn't that crazy? They're best friends. Whenever you write a word with a Q, it always has a U after it. Wow. but we're just going to practice our Q's because we've already practiced U's. This is uppercase Q, and this is lowercase q. They look totally different, don't they? They look so different. We're going to practice both of them. And even though they look really different, they both make the same sound. They both make a qua, qua sound, like queen. So for Q, we say Q, queen, qua. Okay, here comes Echo. It's about to be your turn. It's your turn. Very good. Q, queen, qua. All right, let's practice uppercase Q first. So for uppercase Q, we're starting at the top on the skyline, and we just do a circle down to the grass line. It just looks like an O or a number 0, except we're not done because Q, uppercase Q, has a little straight line tail there. And that's how we know it's a Q and not an O and not a 0. There's that little straight line tail. And that's our uppercase Q. Let's try it again. Put that marker or pencil at the top on the skyline, and you're going to do a circle down to the grass line. Then we need to give it our little tail, a little straight line right there. And that's our uppercase Q, makes a qua, qua sound like queen. Okay, let's practice some lowercase Q's. Lowercase q looks totally different than uppercase Q. All right, here is lowercase q. Qua, qua, lowercase q. Looks so different. Lowercase q, you get to go down to the worm line. Lowercase q is from plain line to worm line. Okay, let's start on the plain line. We're going to do a little circle to the grass line. Well, that just looks like a lowercase o, but we're not done. We need to give it the tail. There's that tail down to the worm line. Okay, so we're going to go down to the worm line, and then we give it a little curve up this way, and that's lowercase q. Okay, let's try it again. We're going to start on the plain line, and we do a little circle down to the grass line. Then we give it its tail to the worm line. Now make sure your tail is curving the right way. It needs to curve this way, because look what happens when you do the tail curving the other way. Look at this. If you do a great Q, but your tail curves the other way, what letter does it turn into? It turns into a G. It turns into a totally different letter. But we've already done G. We've already practiced G's. We're practicing Q's. So make sure that your tail goes the right way. This is G. G makes a G sound. So we don't want to do G's. All right, let's do one more lowercase q. We're going to start on the plain line, and we do a circle down to the grass line, and then we give it its tail down to the worm line. And those are lowercase q's. Okay, we're done with our writing, so we're going to put our marker caps back on if you were using markers, and put them back in your foundations bag. We're going to erase our boards, put your board back in your foundations bag if you were using a marker and a board. Now, let's review just a little bit of social studies. In social studies, we've been learning about communities. And oh my goodness, we collected so much food this week to help our community. And I'm going to take it to Caritas, so the organization, the group of people that gives the food to people in our community who need it. And I will show you pictures of when I donate the food on Monday. I'll show you on Monday. And this week we learned that we also have people in our community, kids in our community, who don't have enough clothes. So this week, we're going to collect as many clothes as we can, maybe clothes that you've already grown out of, clothes that you don't need anymore. We're going to make sure they're clean and nice and ready to wear, and then we're going to bring them to school. We're going to collect as many clothes as we can, and we're going to give them to the Comfort House. And the Comfort House is a group of people in our community who make sure that all the kids in our community have enough clothes to wear. Okay? So I'll tell your parents all about that too so they can help you. All right, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday.